Homo sapiens rise up for the true future WWE World Heavyweight Champion, OMOS. Now we've got that out of the system. Here are 5 superstars I think should win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, or the 5 best people to be the first winner of the title. So basically, I don't think anyone who lost to Roman within the past 6 months to a year should win the title, maybe with one exception. But let's go with the one who I think is most likely to win the title, and that's Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins has been flirting with the main event scene for the past year, and they've not been putting him in it. He's been kind of almost relegated to putting new guys over, or the celebrity guy, Logan Paul. He obviously was putting Cody over, but that makes sense because it's Cody Rhodes. But he had that feud with Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley where he was kind of a face and a heel at the same time in either one of those. The Logan Paul one where he's a face but really he's a heel and he does better as a heel. But alas, I think Seth Rollins is going to be the one to pick it up. It makes sense. He's the only person who technically beat Roman in the past 1,000 days in a Universal title match. He won by DQ, so he technically did win. And it just doesn't make sense to not have a wrestler of that over, not have a world title. And I get it's a bit of a consolation because the main title is going to be the one that Roman is holding, all titles. I don't know what they're going to do. But the main one is the one that Roman's holding. So it's kind of a consolation. But Seth should really have that title, and you have to have a very hard brand split so Roman and Seth don't come into contact, because then it will make Seth look like a B champion. You just need them to not interact at all, ever. Secondly, Sheamus. Sheamus is so incredibly over recently. His matches with Gunther have elevated him to the next level once again, and I think, Triple H always wanted to make Sheamus the guy, and this is actually an opportunity to put a world title on Sheamus, although I think everyone except for Seth would feel like a B champion to Roman. But I think, Sheamus deserves to have a world title, and this actually might be a good way to put it back on him. Thirdly, and I'm putting this in the middle because I think it's highly unlikely, but Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, yes, it will feel like a consolation if I'm not beating Roman, and I don't know how they would get it to work in this Bloodline feud, which I think is going to be Sami's story going forward still, maybe until SummerSlam. Potentially until next Mania, he could have a one-on-one match with Jay, but we'd have to see. Potentially you could do Jay versus Sami in the final. Sami generally doesn't go to Saudi Arabia though, so I don't think you could actually put it on him. But, there's potential there. He's still incredibly over. He still, will have people behind him say, you should be world champion. Again, like I said before, unless it's Seth, it does feel like, a 1A, 1B situation with Roman. And it might not make the most sense, but I feel like he's one of the wrestlers who was over enough for people to be like, yeah, well deserved. Fourth is Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley always feels like he should be a world champion. I don't think he even dropped the WWE Championship. I think he was removed from the match at Hell in a Cell, and therefore he couldn't compete for it. They did it to kind of protect him because they wanted to put the belt on Brock. So, not Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber. So Bobby never lost his world title really. So frankly, it could actually work. And again, he, other than Seth, is the only other person where I could feel like, yeah, genuinely feels like he couldn't be the B to Roman. He wouldn't be a B champion. He has that feel to him. They package him really well. Obviously, they wasted him at WrestleMania, which is just, it's a crime to waste a wrestler that good at WrestleMania. But it seems like they did. So Bobby, again, I think if I were to order it, Bobby would be the second most likely person I would put that belt on, just because he just exudes championship material. He should be a champion just all the time. Quickfire honorable mentions: Edge, You Think You Know Me, Dom, The Better Mysterio, and LA Knight, yeah. And last but not least, Finn Balor. Finn is just so good. Like, he is so good in the Judgment Day. I want them to do even more of that, like, Prince Balor stuff he did in New Japan and kind of took to NXT with him. Like, he is really arrogant in the Judgment Day, but I want him to be even more arrogant. And putting that world title on him, again, he never lost his Universal title. The first Universal Champion, he never lost it. So it would make sense for him as a story to be like, I never lost this title. I need to be the first world champion, and then actually give him a run with a world title. It'd also bring a little bit more legitimacy to Judgment Day. Obviously, Rhea being SmackDown champion has brought that along with them, but I feel like there's a risk of them splitting her away from the Judgment Day because, you know, she is a big enough star to, you know, she's like Bianca. She should be her own star, like crossover superstar in the future. That's how big Rhea is. And I feel like they might take her away from the Judgment Day. And if they do that, that's their only gold gone. So then you could maybe put a mid-card title on Dom or Damian Priest. I think they should put the US title on one of those two. And then have, you know, you don't need Finn to have the world title, but I think Finn with the world title, it gives Judgment Day that even more bit of legitimacy. I really like having factions. I like that the Bloodline is on top. Well, was on top. Putting the Judgment Day on top as well, it gives that heel numbers advantage, and it also helps any babyface that is chasing Finn. So say Finn wins the title and then they do, I don't know, Finn versus Sheamus for the title, or Finn versus Drew, or Finn versus LA Knight. You know, it gives the babyface even more odds to overcome. It's something which I think they should have done with Cody a bit more than they did. So yeah, that's why I really think it should be Finn as well. So if I were to order them, it would go, Seth is the one that's like, he is the world champion. He should be the world champion. He should have been world champion like a year ago. Seth, Bobby, just because Bobby exudes world champion, you know, just material. 3 is Finn Balor, because again, Finn has that arrogancy to him, which would make a really good heel champion. 4th is Sheamus, just because he's so hot right now, he's so over, and Triple H loves him. And 5th, Sami Zayn, just because it does feel the most like it would be a consolation prize, because, oh, you couldn't beat Roman, but here's the world title. But Sami is also incredibly over, so I don't think fans would, like, boo him out of the stadium if he won that. But he is also the least likely, because I'm pretty sure they're crowning this champion at the Saudi show, and he doesn't generally do the Saudi shows. So yeah, those are my 5. Obviously there are other contenders, like I mentioned, like Edge, Dom, LA Knight. Let me know down below what other people you think could be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, you know, the inaugural one of this new iteration of it. Hey, you can also check out my last video, which was a short about how I would improve the look of the belt. And yeah, hey, go watch some great wrestling, hopefully something featuring LA Knight.